Okay, great to have you all on the workshop. I'll just try to introduce myself. This is Mani Lakaraju, founder of Solveworks. We are basically into enabling startups on the first mile run, which is helping startups translate their idea. We help in all those initial stages of translating their idea into the real startups and also help them get the necessary support by providing the relevant cloud solutions or the technology advisory that is required for them to build the minimum viable product. And once the viable product is ready and go for market, we help them on the strategies through mentoring and help them create a business model which can give that kind of sustainability for them and a constant revenues. And once they are sustained and they show up the revenues, we actually help them uh, connect with the investors and make them raise funds. So this is the entire cycle we are involved as part of Solveworks, and we work with the startups day in day out. So this, whatever we are trying to do here is like this COVID or with this situation, most of us are happy about a new learning or a new channel called going digital or going online. So most of these startups or small offices are trying to utilize this opportunity to align themselves to go digital or go online. And when I've been talking to a lot of startups and all, what I figured out is they have a lot of information about why to go digital and what all the things they will get when they go digital. But what they were missing, or what most of the startups came back to me saying, is like no one is saying to them or sharing the minimum steps of how to go digital. So that's what I thought, like, okay, let's do a workshop, a continuous workshop, considering various functions of a typical small office or a typical startup or a typical SME or MSME, and try to bring in some key concepts of what will change when you go online and how this function has to be managed, and accordingly also give a demo of using a no-code solution and touch the concept with the practice so that the entire uh, fundamental of going online is totally understood by the entrepreneurs. So that's been um the inspiration, or that's been the idea behind starting this workshop. And we are trying to run this workshop for next 5 days. I'll be sharing all the details, how things will work and all. Welcome you all to this workshop. Let me go ahead and share the items on the agenda that we have listed for today. Yeah, the agenda is pretty simple. Looking at the kind of topics that can come and looking at the kind of people who join in for this session could be from various fields and various industries. So I try to keep it at very, very basic flow, and we'll try to see how we can actually connect and learn from it. So what I'll be talking today is purely on the introduction of this kind of workshops. What are the workshops, how we are trying to do these workshops, and what would be the next step on these workshops. Plus, I'll also try to touch upon basic some characteristics of a sales flow, or a few things to look at selling when you go digitally online. And accordingly, for whatever we have discussed, we'll try to see how a demo looks like closest to that kind of concept we have learned. And then I'll try to just give you a quick sneak into the no-code story, just giving you some highlight, and then we'll finally close with question and answer. So that is typically the agenda for today. And let's go ahead. I think we have good number of people, around 14 of them already joined. So I think we are good to go. Great. Okay, so Soho Go Digital Workshop. This, as I said in the start, this entire workshop, the theme is to help entrepreneurs know how to go digital. Okay, definitely going digital can be looked in multiple ways. There is a lot of things that you have to look at. Basically, you have to plan certain things and all. However, these things are part of the business and the decision to go digital. Essentially, what is that has to go digital is the focus of this workshop. So when you say you are taking your products digital or you are making your business digital, it's not only getting on Zoom and trying to sell customers on Zoom or trying to make a new post on your new products or in LinkedIn or anything. You have to entirely make your system a alternate channel that will go online or go digital. So there are entire uh, I mean, it should work as a separate channel altogether and different to the offline that is what you're working right now. Right now, you might have teams, you might have partners, you might have vendors, you might have a lot of people who are helping you in making the business move forward. Similarly, you might have some prime products. Similarly, you might have some products for general consumption. You might have some custom products. So a lot of things are there. Same way, your teams are also trained to work for the current process as well as the current products. Now, if you suddenly switch it and say we are online, who will train all of them? Who will train your customers or who will notify your customers? Who will tell your sales team like what to sell, what not to sell? Who will tell your teams, existing teams, the delivery teams, the accounting teams, the processing teams, including the marketing teams as well as the finance and admin teams? So this is a complete area that actually has to be looked at when you decide to go online or go digital, because just making some post online and expecting people to buy is okay. People might buy, but what happens when there is a feedback coming to you online? Are you prepared? Are you ready to react to it? So that is the reason we have taken this as a complete workshop, and we will run through each and every function at a very, very high level. Believe me, it would be going to be around 20,000 feet level of your actual business. We are trying to just give you a very dotted line where you can understand and connect the concept of going digital and the impact, or actually looking at how it feels when you go digital. So we that is the focus of this workshop, and so we have taken all these functions. So today's topic will be focusing purely on Salesforce. And then, as you see the schedule, tomorrow we have product. Then on 6th we have team. 7th we have marketing, and 8th we have finance and admin to just close. So these are the 5 basic elements that are to be considered when you take your business online, and that is where this workshop is aimed to focus now. Okay, moving to the sales flow. So what actually happens when we go digital? There are certain things that are definitely going to change, and we have to understand the ways of selling, because there are certain things that are definitely going to impact the way your customers looks at your business online. In a typical offline media or an offline channel, you can have your person, you can have your content, you can have your product, they can have a touch, feel, everything. But on a digital media, the only connect you have with your customer is engagement. So the only engagement is what he makes a picture of your company, is what the engagement he would like to create. So you have to be very clear on what you are doing as part of selling. Let's say if you don't have a purpose to go digital, don't go. It is not mandatory that everyone is going digital, you should also go. You should set a purpose when you try to go digital, and you should also have a purpose of selling your products digitally or on online. So that has to be clearly understood. Second, you have to understand your buyer. See, there are various things you have to understand. Typically, in a normal sales process, your sales team, when they reach the customer, they try to probe more queries like why he's understanding the product or he's not understanding the product. Is there anything else we need to do? There's a dialogue that can happen. So that facilitates the probing. When the probing happens in a better way and the dialogue is created, that's when your sales team will be able to create or structure that into a possible sale and convert that as a business for your company. Now, in a digital medium, this kind of dialogue will not happen just like that. And there is no probe from your side. You cannot just ask questions. You cannot just in a chat window with your customer, or you cannot ask your customer on WhatsApp and start asking all the questions. Customers don't like it because the only way you have a touch point is the engagement, and the engagement is purely based on the content what the customer is willing to look at. It's not what you're trying to keep. So that is a very important aspect here, how the entire cycle of understanding the buyer changes totally here. And you have a lot of challenges that throws up from this kind of concept of understanding buyer online. The very simple challenges can be three. That is what I've listed here. One could be product. In the sense, all the products that you are selling offline may not be directly sold online. It's not like getting onto Amazon or getting onto Flipkart. You have to bring out the experience in a more empathetic manner, more a touch point, more a engagement, more a storytelling, where the customer can connect back to you and understand, okay, this is my need and this is my requirement and this is how the product can help. So this is the kind of challenge you face in bringing your product back to your customer. So this recalls for a lot of ways you have to present your customer the different kind of product catalog. You also have a different challenge on changing the content. Like maybe earlier you would have had just a simple banner, like this is the product, these are the benefits, these are the facilities, these are the advantages, these are the scenarios and all. But that doesn't work here. So when you just share a picture of a product, it will not sell. You have to present it in the form of a story so that the customer can connect to you. So that's the first start. So that's where the sales challenge starts. And it's not like since you're telling the story, you can give any price. People will not look at the price. Price becomes very, very choosy topic, and it becomes very, very important factor in deciding uh, the purchase of the product that you're saying. Typically, since they don't have the senses like the touch, feel, and all, even if you say it costs so much, there is always a perception with the customer. Is it really? Can I check? Is there any way? So the price is a very, very important factor that can totally change your expectation of going digital and selling. So you have to really work on your price and expect that the price has to be taken care across the board, not like a bulk or not like a one time go. Okay, so you have to rework on that. And third one is the perfection. How perfectly you have connected the story to your customer. What are the takes that you have? Like, let's say if the customer has understood the story and he comes back and gives you, I am okay with the story, but I want some custom changes. So how prepared is your team to handle that? You cannot say like, see, in an offline world or offline channel, I can go back to my customer and take an appointment and say, sir, this is the way it is going to change. These are the updates. These are the new things. This is the overall time it takes to bring this customization. So he's ready to listen to you because he can give you a meeting. But in this situation or in an online sale, even you get a meeting, the only thing you have is the engagement and the eye contact. If you cannot connect with your customer through the eyes and you cannot pass on the story, it will not happen. So you should be perfect in the processes, in the kind of way you take it up, in the kind of overall flow you try to sell the product to your customer. So that is these are the three basic challenges that you get when you go online with your products digital. And again, you have to face these kind of risks. There are three risks that are highlighted here. Again, keeping this at a very high level, it is across the industries because that's what helps us to continue with this workshop. So typically, why people becomes a kind of a risk here is See, typically in an offline engagement, whatever your sales team would have reached, or still the customer can ask you to visit on site, and you can still have a discussion and all. But in an online sale, it's only a kind of engagement. So once the sale is over, maybe there is an issue with people. Okay, maybe the sale was a wrong sale, or it was a over sale, or it was a cross sale. There are a lot of things that can happen. So you have to train your people very, very clear and very well. If they are not trained properly, there is high chance you might get this risk back in your selling process. Then the potential. Maybe when you try to take this kind of online sales, maybe most of your team is not prepared, or you don't have that potential right now to go digital. So you have to look at it. Let's say you have 10 products, not all 10 products can go digital at this point of time. Maybe you can go with a test model by 2 products or 3 products, and then you can look at it what best can happen. So you have to understand your potential at this point of time and play it accordingly. And finally, the place. The place is really going to be a risk factor, because what all they're going to see is not at their office, not at your office, it's only online. So place actually becomes a vacuum. So it has to be very carefully dealt. Uh, I mean, observing this risk back into your sales process is a must. So these are the typical challenges one small and I mean small office or home office entrepreneur faces when he tries to sell his products online and transforming from offline. And now, given this the situation, what are the things to do? I have just listed, there are hundreds of things you can do, but I've just listed a couple to just quickly act on, because the concept is it's at a 20,000 feet level. We should also see the solutions at that level itself. So what I believe is there should be a strong structured process, well-defined process of whatever we are trying to do. Not to be the perfection in the sense, but at least to some extent it goes step by step or something like that. And you have to ensure there's a constant engagement that has been built into your system. Either it could be an email, it could be a SMS, it could be a call, it could be a kind of online presence, it could be kind of post, it could be kind of WhatsApp, whatever it is. You have to ensure between the stages of your sale, you have to have some kind of a constant engagement that is required. Then you should also have clear information on what is that you're trying to do in quest of doing a sale for your customer. Don't try to push things without clear information. Start giving the minutest information you can, but make it clear, but make it simple, and try to connect this more as a story. So when you have the story, it actually can facilitate the sale, because the customer will come back to you. See, the challenge here is most likely customer will connect you for a sale, and he triggers the process. It's not your sales team who will trigger the process. So that's the big difference. So you have to be ready to facilitate the sale. You should have all the possible channels that are available to facilitate the sale. And also team hierarchy to some extent brings a bigger challenge. Like let's say I have 4 salespeople who are working across the city. So someone might be in east zone, west zone, and all. Now with this kind of online activity, there is no much of travel that is required, but still there is a constant kind of an engagement, a constant kind of region focus that has to be maintained for us to understand from where these online leads are coming, how we are looking at it, and how we are trying to take it. So in this matter, what happens is typically the flat hierarchy or this kind of a structure will facilitate your sales team much faster. Because since the lead can come from anywhere, you can just try to make it as flat as possible, and you can give it. And because everything that hits the system is recorded already on the digital. It's not like the regular issues of sales where, like, let's say there's a team of 4 people, 2 people just try to take the leads of someone and report on their name. So all these of issues are typically the challenge with sales teams. So all those challenges will anyhow disappear most of the cases, because you have to reach the same geography. but the channel is different. So it's mainly from where the lead has originated is the key point for you to understand. So keep it as much as flat hierarchy as possible. And lastly, the most important, everything that you do in a sale, especially on digital media, has to be recorded, because there is no touch and feel factor for your customer. The only feel factor is your connect and is your engagement. So you have to record as much as you can. Uh, Not in the sense every dialogue that you are in, it basically like some kind of a tangible things that you can connect to your story of selling. Or if you look back, like there are 100 leads that came, why we couldn't convert even one or two customers, then it will be very difficult for you to understand where it went wrong. So it is very important to record and measure these kind of things. So this is a typical challenge or a typical scenario of sales, what it brings to the enterprise when you just switch on the button and you say, we go digital, and boom, it's now. So this is how it is going to show up. Now, what we are going to do now is, I'm trying to, on basis of this, I'll try to quickly run through a couple of demos that we have done to support the customer. But before that, I just have one slide before that. So typically, there are two parts on this slide. One is like, this is exactly the structure approach I was saying. So the information on your left is like prospect management, lead management, deal conversion, contract sign, follow up, and quick views. So these are the 5 or 6 things you should have built into your sales process, typically to ensure you understand the measures, the flows, or all the things are taken care. So it makes you very easier for you to understand how things can work. So that's the power of structure process, and this is what we have to look at. So any lead or anything that hits your website or wherever is a source point that you're trying to capture the initial discussion, you have to consider that as a prospect. Maybe it might work, it might not work. That's just a prospect. Then you have to work on the prospect to nurture it to a lead. And now, once the lead happens, there are various other things. Maybe the customer is interested, but he needs more information. He's not very keen on how we can take benefit of the services at this point of time. Maybe he'll come back to you after 6 months. So there are some queries on this. So you have to nurture the lead. And once you nurture the lead, you have to ensure the deal conversion happens. So that is also a very important stage. Like it's not like the prospect stage itself. You have to say, you take the offer today, it is at 40% discount. Tomorrow it is not there. Customers will not come. Maybe one or two will come, but it will not fly that way. You have to wait for the negotiation to happen until you go to the deal conversion stage. You should not rush into it. So it has its own reservation at that stage. And then finally, once everything is done, you should be able to give that confidence to your customer that yes, we are doing some kind of a agreement on product, on the services, and this is a sale, this is a cost, this is a price. So customers typically expect a kind of a contractual agreement. Let's say that's the best one for them to believe that yes, something they have purchased, and that is exactly what Amazon or Flipkart does. Flipkart or Amazon goes through all these stages, and once you ready to add to cart and take the next step, they'll give you all the list of standard conditions and all standard packages of delivery. Everything is there. So they help you connect with the kind of legal and all the process and all the documentation that is required for you to get that confidence to buy the product. So that is what a typical contract sign up happens. And follow-ups. Follow-ups are again definitely the routine follow-ups you can do at your level. And quick views are the views that can give you a deep insight into your quick sales. You don't need that kind of complicated dashboards, but at least some kind of quick views are required for you to connect to what you're doing. And the data on the right is a simulation of what is a typical interaction or a kind of a revenue that you expect with your customer over an year. So if you're expecting a revenue of, and this is not just a number, it has been collected from years of research and hypothesis. And this data has been taken into consideration with a very kind of modeling that can help founders to look at what is that you have to put in the effort. So if you're looking at a simple sale of 10 rupees, then just one kind of interaction is enough. You can make that sale. But if you are looking at to earn 10,000 rupees from that customer, the study says minimum of 8 interactions are required with him. Like you need to, it's not like you have to oversell on the first time you meet him. You have to slowly structure your sales process. Typically, this is for all. And now imagine if you have to make a crore rupees from your customer, the minimum expected guideline or the study says you have to interact with your customer 64 times. Then only the possibility of that sale will happen, and then only that possibility of that money will hit your account. So this is what typically the learning a founder has to understand. So don't rush on your sales on day one. This could be a simple guideline. Depending on business, depending on again industry sectors, it could be further fine-tuned, but this is just an understanding of how much sale I can make to a customer and how many trials I would require on a digital screen or a digital presence or an online presence. So if I'm making a product and I'm thinking, oh, this product is 8,000, I have my social post has given me a feed of 50 leads. So 50 into 10, 1,000 will lead to 5 lakhs. No, that is not the way it is going to work. If you have to have 10,000 paid by those 50 leads, you would have done minimum 8 interactions, meaning 50 into 8 interactions is what is a minimum effort you have to put to get that 50 lakhs of money back to you. So this is a typical model that helps entrepreneurs to put their focus on and how they can actually make the best use of this medium to make sales. So don't rush into it. So the simplest storyline here is don't rush into selling on day one. Things will not work like that in digital. You have to be very focused. And so let's say if you have to interact with your customers 16 times to make a sale of 1 lakh. So where this 16 times will go. So if you look at, there is also a study or a kind of a strategy that tells out of the 16, maybe 5 times it goes in the prospect, just getting the connect with the customer itself, trying to meet the customer again and again. Then the rest 11 might be split across the lead, the deal, and the contract stages. So maybe you might need to meet or connect with your customer around 4 or 5 times for the lead nurturing stage, understanding what is doing, what are the things. So that's why storytelling is the best process which can help you to convert your customers and get you the revenues that you're looking. So take this as a model and try to put this back on your sheets wherever you're trying to project your sales, that this is the kind of sales that is going to come from this kind of product sales. So just try to understand that very clearly and try to plan yourself so that you can really make the best of the digital sales and all. And so what this gives us a hint is, on digital, patience is the must and very, very important factor in sales. Don't sell at rush. Sell with a story. Read the story, make an impact of the story. So the customer will follow the story. And the best part is he becomes your word of mouth. When he becomes your word of mouth, that's where the story magnifies. Because it's easy for anyone to sell a story. You don't need to sell. So you sell a story to your customer or you sell the experience to a customer, he becomes your word of mouth, and then he starts selling the story for you. So that is the way this online thing will work, and this is what we have to look at. Okay, so we'll just quickly go to the demo. Before going to the demo, I would just like to unmute everyone, and if you guys have any queries or questions, we can. Hello, we can have any questions, anything we can just quickly have.
Fresh, sir.
Yeah, any questions from anyone?
Fresh, sir. Devina. Hi, Devina.
Hello.
हाँ 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 यार हाँ यार पूरा फुल शॉट में
Okay, so we'll continue to the demo. Looks like there are no questions here, so I'm just continue to the demo. So what I'll be sharing